Right, okay, I'm just gonna do myself a little video here of this wonderful miniature here, which, as far as I can tell, you should pronounce Ufthak Blackhawk, and he is a Bad Moon war boss. This is part of a Black Library collection of miniatures, so haven't read the novel yet, but as I understand it, he is basically a character from a series of books. So I am going to get around to reading that, but I saw it, and because I do love a unique orc character, I definitely wanted this. The miniature is £27.50. So, not. Sometimes you've got to ask yourself about kind of special characters. How many models should you get for that kind of price? I know he's a special model, and they're always going to, put a higher price point on there, no matter what. But overall, it doesn't tend to bother me paying a bit of money for a special character, particularly if I like the look of them. Right. So let's have a look at what's inside this box and see, how the miniature looks, see what his rough size is, and we'll go from there. So, as a lot of you probably know, I do have the most recent Orc and Goblin special characters from Christmas. So I do like collecting these kind of miniatures no matter what. I just like these kind of special unique characters. Okay, so single sprue, nice and simple. It's a one that you obviously have to glue. Now, one thing I am curious about, and yes, I've got to be careful about showing too much, but just give you an idea, there are rules on the back here to actually use the miniature. So it's got his, because I don't actually play 10th edition, I've not played it yet, I don't really know, to be quite honest, what a lot of those rules mean. But the rules are there. It does give you, the instructions on how to use them, which is good, because I'm going to assume that this guy is not in any codex at the moment. Let's have a look at the actual sprue itself, and let's see, quality-wise, I suppose. What I think is very apparent straight away, it is a big model. Okay, so the truth is, when you look at the box art, it doesn't quite. I mean, you can see that it's actual size on the back, but sometimes I tend to find that these kind of photographs, it's hard for me to judge for some reason. I don't know what it is about when I look at things in 2D. I struggle to actually comprehend size, even when it's actual size. So actually getting the model in my hand to have a look at him, this is the kind of thing I want, and I can just tell straight away that he is a big model. In fact, what might be a good idea right now is if I go get a Primaris, which I think a lot of people would, be aware of the sizing of, and put him next to it. And as you can see, so if I try and line up from foot to base, the top of his body, so just the top of his actual body, comes a little bit higher than a Primaris in height, but of course, being an orc, he has some very heavy set limbs, which means that he's significantly chunkier than any Primaris, which is good. You want them to feel orc war bosses like they genuinely could, potentially go, well, they should be able to go toe-to-toe with the Primaris. It's simple, really. And, he is, looking at him, he's got some nice details. I think one thing that I still love is that a lot has changed with model making, but Games Workshop has not really... they've not moved on from what you might call the orc body plan. It still has stayed the same for a very long time. And I think that's personally because they got it right a long time ago. And all they've really done is changed it slightly. Like this model's got far better muscle tone definition in him, which you want to see on a modern model. But overall, the body plan of an orc has not really changed for at least 20 years to my mind, because we had the original orc look, and that was always quite cool. Then we have the kind of Gorkamorka orcs who are quite wiry and thin, and then after those Gorkamorka orcs, they settled on a body plan for the orcs, and that has stayed the same. Really, it's not really altered, and I love the fact that they're not changing something that works. So looking at this, you know, he's got some lovely details on his body, on his weapons. You know, there's some lovely fine details on the different parts of his clothing. But as I said, it's interesting to think that if I go and got myself an orc model from, I think probably 20 years ago would be my guess, this model would still fit within the army. It wouldn't feel like out of place, but it still looks new and modern. It's got lovely kind of pose and positioning. You can see you've got this kind of forward-facing arm. You've got that kind of massive hammer that he's got on him, which is, again, I really love the look of. And it all looks sort of brutal. You know, it's a very brutal looking model, which you want, really. And of course with the Bad Moons, so Bad Moons, they're the rich clan, if I remember correctly. They're the one who tends to have the ability to have, I think they get the most teeth and things like that, basically, and therefore have the most wealth. And again, if you've got something like the Gaskell Mag Uruk Thraka model, this guy's probably going to be a lot smaller than him, but again, that's fine, because Gaskell is a goth orc and he is the ultimate orc as well, unless some crocs turn up again and really put them to shame. So yeah, I really like the look of this model. I'm going to have a lot of fun putting it together in a little bit. And as I said, I need to read the actual book as well, don't I, to actually really get inspired. I have a freebooter orc clan, so I've got to decide whether or not I want to paint this guy in my own way so that he matches with my freebooter clan. But I'll decide that when I get closer to the time. But hopefully the build on this will be very, very easy and very simple to do. So there he is. There's Ufthak Blackhawk, and as I said, I'm looking at it. I'm really liking the idea of this model, and I just think, like with the fact that I've got quite a few special orc characters, and I intend on trying to get more of them as I go along. Yeah, let's see how this guy looks all painted up. So there we go. That's my little review of Ufthak Blackhawk. Oh gosh, I really hope I'm saying that right. I'm really, looking forward to building him for you and showing you how to put him together. And I will see you in the next video, so please like and subscribe.